This Icon podcast is hosted and sponsored by Sphere Rocket Virtual Assistants, a leading provider for your virtual assistants and outsourcing needs. Owned by one of the top-ranking EXP agents, Justin Nelson. Sphere Rocket VA provides a one-stop virtual staffing solution for business owners, and we specialize in helping business owners grow their business by leveraging through virtual assistants. Trusted by the top names in the real estate industry like Kyle Whistle, Andrew Franklin, John Kitchens, and many more. Get ready to up your success and we'll help you achieve your business goals. Book your free consultation at sphererocketva.com and find out how we can make your life easier.
What's up? Welcome back to another episode of the Icon Podcast. I am your host, Gianna, and today we have the opportunity of talking to Curtis Counts. Welcome to the show. Thank you for hanging out with me today.
Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.
Of course. So Curtis, take us back. Who are you? Where are you from? How did you grow up to be a real estate agent?
That's a long story. I'm 43 years old now. I'm in central New Jersey. I covered just about all of the state, give or take. I've been doing this now in January will be year 10 for me. That's going to roll around. So I'm capping off a decade. I had not intended to go into real estate. I was in bars and nightclubs for pretty much my entire professional career. Owned a bar, worked in nightclubs, ran restaurants, like you name it. That's what I did for about 15 years. And as I got a little bit older, the body started to reject the lifestyle, starting to break down the feet, the back, the knees, you name it, just the physical toll just started to catch up. And I had the bright idea of going into the police academy. So I did all my paperwork. I took my tests and I placed very highly, and I was starting to get phone calls. And at around the same time, while I was waiting, just for the big step, there's a lot of bureaucracy going from, private into a police force, tons of background checks and all that other great stuff. I was approached by a friend of mine who was growing at the time. It was a small team, and he'd been pitching me for a few years at this point. And I think we met each other at a certain point where I guess I had just the right amount of cocktails in me to listen to the entire pitch. We were both on dates respectively, and his girlfriend sat there being bored to death, and my girlfriend sat there being bored to death as we talked about real estate. Yeah. And I heard him out. I gave him, it wasn't an elevator pitch, but it sure wasn't a full presentation either. So about 20 minutes, and I said, all right, man, if you leave me alone, I'll look into it. And that was about the end of it. From there, it did seem like something that was appealing to me. My concerns about having a pension and having benefits going into, public service kind of were outweighed by the realization that, I could buy my own stock plan. I could get my own IRA. I could buy my own benefits that are probably cheaper. And, retiring in 20 years, a lot of real estate agents are able to pull that off if they're good at their jobs. So I was told, I went through the licensing process in New Jersey. It takes you about a month and a half to finish up your classwork, 75 hours on a staggered schedule. And you wait to clear the background. I didn't have any criminal offenses, so I went through background pretty quickly. And I was licensed in January. By April, I think I had closed 2 houses in quick succession to each other while working a full-time job. And at the time, I had gotten the most money I had ever seen in one sitting between those 2 checks. It actually outweighed pretty heftily the amount of money I had saved up to my life at that point, being in restaurants and bars. So the next day, I got a phone call from one of the local police departments, and it's like, thank you, but no thank you. Yeah. I'm gonna go do this over here.
I'm rolling with this one. Yeah, that's awesome. And so, Curtis, then was EXP your first brokerage?
Remax.
Okay, so
Remax.
What was your introduction to EXP and the thought process of moving over here? How did that go for you?
We had done some discovery with a couple other brands. We had contemplated switching to another Remax brokerage from our previous. We had contemplated opening and buying into a Keller Williams. We looked at the financials, and they didn't really make a lot of sense, and it looked like we were going to be behind the 8 ball for quite some time. It was a lot more risk than any perceived reward for at least, I don't know, maybe 5 years.
Yeah.
Getting behind the ball on that was a bit much. And I said, all right, we're going to go ahead. And then we started, looking around, and we saw some very large names in the real estate community switching over to EXP. And I had made note of that in my head. I think the two big ones that I saw make the move that kind of cemented it for me. I watched a guy by the name of Jake Kinder and Curtis Johnson. When they moved, that's when I said, all right, the brand, it's got some wind in the sails, because to that point, I mean, brand notoriety is brand notoriety, but if you don't have the signs in your yards, you don't really see it. It could be a passing fad, and boutique brokerages come and go. But once I saw a couple of really big names, well respected within the real estate community, make a brand switch, then we kind of started looking at what the financials were.
Yeah, absolutely. And getting to know the model a little more. And so, you did some research, you finally made that move. So now you've been over here at EXP, you're a top producer at EXP, top 2% over here. So what are some of your favorite benefits of EXP? Why do you stay here? We've got rev share, stock options, collaboration. So what keeps you around, Curtis?
It's collaboration. Yeah, I'm not somebody who actively recruits for a downline. I recruit to attract agents to a team. I like the model. The financial reward for the agents is a good attraction tool, in my opinion. When you're able to tell prospective agents, and even not necessarily just the brand new ones, even the ones that have been in for a year or two, making the brand switch will actually put more money in your pocket while providing you with more support, making your job easier. I mean, at that point, it's an easy sell. I mean, why wouldn't you want to make that move? And everybody, and don't get me wrong, I was a company guy with RE/MAX. Carried the flag the whole nine. I went to all the conventions, and I was at all the meetings and all this other stuff, and I was, Mr. RE/MAX. I am here now too, though. I'm Mr. EXP. I love what the model gives us. I love the rev share. Again, I'm not even an active recruiter for a downline. I just build my own team. I have the autonomy to kind of come and go as I please. And as long as we're within compliance, we don't really hear too much, which is fine. Anything that we get outside is added bonus. It's value, it's instruction, it's kind of tidbits that are giveaways and things like that. But you don't get the I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? You don't get the broker calling you because they're in a bad mood. You need to be onto your own and run your own business, and the EXP trusts its agents to do that, which is a great thing.
No, that's awesome. And Curtis, it's been a great brokerage for you. It's the right fit for you. So let's talk about, your work-life balance, how that looks when you're with EXP. Don't smile. Don't laugh at that question, Mr. Realtor. It's tough. Having a work-life balance in this industry, it can swallow you whole. So how do you draw the line between work and play? Where do you find time to recharge and take care of yourself and also your clients?
So up until very recently, I was doing about 80 hours a week, and we are a first-year team here at EXP. When I left RE/MAX, I was under a team, and I branched out and began recruiting, and that was one of the big impetuses for me making the switch. EXP was just a lot more friendly for a team structure, in my opinion. So I've been burning the candle at both ends for quite some time. I have actually, it is noticed that the more money I keep in my pocket, I can pick my days if I want to take a day off. I don't have to be 70 or 80 hours a week unless I want to. Unless I'm working on a project that I'm passionate about, or we're implementing something new or a new process, that's great. And I have, like I said, I have it at my leisure. If there's where I want to roll something out, or if I want to revamp training, I can dedicate 80 hours a week to that, but it's my choice. Whereas, with another brokerage, I'd be leaving more money on the table, and I'd be forced to be doing a lot more prospecting throughout the day. I'd be forced to deal with clients I prefer not to deal with. I could kind of pick my spots a little bit better because, I'm getting the lion's share of my check at this point. Yeah, so it's nice. And the work-life balance, every successful agent, any successful business person, I think, struggles with it because we're competitive people, I think, by nature, and we compete against ourselves. So it does get swallowed up on times, but I have noticed of late in the last month or two, I've taken more time off and taken better care of myself and actually grabbed hobbies. I don't think I've had a hobby in 10 years.
That's crazy. And it's awesome that you are, able to have the chance here. And like you said, there's multiple streams of income with EXP. There's that team structure, then of course the commission, but you've got the rev share, and then you've got stock options, which is really cool and not offered by any other brokerage really.
Based
And Curtis, sorry.
Based on our sales, without even me looking at it,
Uh-huh.
we popped open the dashboard the other day for our stocks, and me personally, I'm up over 10 grand in a year.
Wow.
Doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Doing absolutely, like just running my team as I normally would anywhere else. Like just open an account, go to your E-Trade account or whatever it was. And I was, oh wow, I have $10,300 in here. Okay, great.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you next time. No, that's really great, Curtis. And, just speaks levels about the opportunity that EXP has to offer, because if you were at another brokerage, that would be money left on the table. So not for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, Curtis, at this high of production, you may do it all alone, but do you have any like assistants or operations manager, TCs?
So we have one transaction coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm kind of, I guess, the COO, CEO, the whole line. I kind of do all the back end stuff at this point in our career. We are actively looking to hire. We're always recruiting for all sorts of stuff. But yeah, we do keep a TC. We have a courier. We have one ISA, and with me currently, we're at 9 agents.
Okay, awesome. So, when it comes to like hiring out, right, what are some of those first tasks that you wanted to get off your plate, or you saw success getting off your plate so that you could scale up your business?
I think training is this one. Training is, if you're a team leader and you're trying to build, training is definitely the way to do it. Having a set system there where the elementary stuff is taken care of more or less by a system. Yeah. You don't have to hold an agent's hand to show them how to log into the CRM or the MLS or do a cursory search the first time. Yeah. You could spend very easily hundreds of hours training an agent, and they could decide tomorrow, we don't like this job, and they can go in another direction. You're out a lot of time and effort, and that could be a lot of money out of your pocket. But yeah, I think if somebody's looking for a piece of advice and you want to scale quickly, get a training system set up. And if you could hire a trainer, that's one of the targets that we're going to be looking at next, getting a training department, an HR department, a compliance department. That's going to be our next step. Takes us out of the stuff, because real estate agents are terrible at HR. We suck. Yeah. We suck at paperwork. We're terrible at it. It's always a struggle. Yeah. Why not hire a pro? And I'll go back to things I'm good at, selling. Absolutely. I'm good at selling houses. That's what I do.
You got to spend money to make money, right? So it'll take some stuff off your plate so you can focus on more, money generating. So Curtis, we've talked about you and EXP, but let's talk about the Icon Award, because you're an Icon agent. So in your market, what does your production look like? What's the average housing price, and how many homes? Oh, there you go. Nice little Icon trophy.
2 days ago, actually.
2 weeks?
2 days ago.
2 days ago. See, some people are like, I haven't gotten my trophy yet. So I'm glad you got yours. So what's that average market price look like for you in your area, and how many homes do you need to sell to cap?
Cap was easy. I capped this year, just with my pipeline, I was done in a little over 3 weeks.
Oh, wow.
I contributed my 16K. The average price in New Jersey right now is like a shade under 400. The areas that we work in, I would say entry levels around 450, give or take, but we spread our advertising around, and we could find some higher things. We got a couple zip codes that we keep around the $1 million. And then we got a couple entry level ones where, sad to say it right now, but the way the market is, entry level first time homeowner, you're spending 300, 350, no problem.
Right. I know. Yeah, trust me.
Things have changed very quickly. Yeah.
Yes, they have. Well, Curtis, as far as being an Icon agent, it's more than just production. You also have your cultural commitment. So you have to be a mentor, teacher, coach, vet other icons, lead panels, be on a panel. So what's your cultural commitment, and why do you go with that?
So I'm going to be doing 3 in September. Awesome. I've been given my assignment dates. I have 3 panels to participate in. I'm going to look into mentorship as well. I know EXP gives you the option of either mentorship or paneling. I want to do both.
Yes, that'd be great. That's awesome. And it's it says a lot about Icons and EXP that the best of the best are the ones leading these panels and these teaching courses top 2% of the company, the ones that are showing that it's working via production, mentorship, coaching, you name it. So I think that is a huge contributor to the culture with EXP. And Curtis, you showed us your trophy. You get your cap back in stock, the opportunity to go to EXPCon and shareholders. So what is your favorite part about being an icon? Like what's your favorite benefit? Why do you keep iconing?
I'm stoked about doing EXPCon. I did not get to do it last year. We had just came in, obviously the big money expenditure, switching brands and having that lag in between two different brokerages. We were not able to make EXPCon last year. I'm stoked about going to that.
Especially because you're such a fan of the collaboration. That's going to be like a big old family reunion.
I walk around and I shake hands all day long, and I introduce myself to a doorknob. Doesn't matter to me. I'm going to walk around the lobby and just shake hands and pat backs the whole nine. That's exactly what I do.
That's awesome, Curtis. So, the opportunity to earn stock for going to EXPCon, that's also another perk. That's exciting.
Yep.
And Curtis, so this is your first year with EXP, right?
Yes.
And you icon. So this will be a fun question for you. For somebody that does have high production and they're, just coming over to EXP, or even a rookie who chose to join EXP because of the Icon Award, what does iconing in their first year look like for them? What are some major mistakes to avoid, or goals to set out daily to be able to hit such a high goal, if it's even possible?
Operate on the micro for the macro. I cannot drum into my team's head time blocking and day-to-day management, knowing where you are every day, what you should be doing, and following through on those commitments. Especially, with social media now, it's basically a black hole of time. You could hop on TikTok for 5 minutes and then, wow, it's November. And when you look out, if you don't have a plan for how your day is going to run, it's not going to go the way you think it's going to go. And if you don't treat the business like a business, it's not going to respond like one. So if you do want to hit icon, and you do want to kind of move your game, especially for the rooks or even the intermediates who are eyeing that big jump in production. To say it out loud, the dollar amounts for what it requires to do this stuff. We hit 38 million. I remember not being able to pay bills. My first being a real estate agent. Where Amex had like a hit squad after me, and I was worried about my car disappearing from my front driveway, like that type of stuff. And then one day you look up and you're doing almost $40 million. Our goal is to double it. We're eyeing 80.
That's awesome.
I think it all goes back to treating the job like a 9 to 5, because it functions a lot better. You can't just float through the day waiting for the phone to ring. It doesn't work.
Absolutely. Not reliably. As much as we would like for it to work, and nobody can do business with you if you're a secret agent. So you got to make sure that they know that about you.
Yep.
And Curtis, when EXP was first introduced to you, were you ever skeptical of it?
I was.
Why? What was that thought process?
The first person to pitch me on the brand was not the ideal brand representative, and that's all that it was. It was somebody at a bar while we were on vacation. Last thing I wanted to talk about. Never heard of the brand. The guy had a couple of them, and just the presentation literally put me off long enough to not revisit it until we went on our discovery again. It was an absolute afterthought just by the first way that it was. So it's crucial. And that's why I take a lot of care when I do introduce my teammates, my team members, when I talk about our brand, to take care of it. I never mistreated the RE/MAX brand, and I would held myself to a very high standard. And I expect the same out of myself and out of my agents to do the same with the EXP brand. I actually take personal offense, and every brand has, if you're working in real estate for long enough, everybody has a preconceived notion about another brand and how it operates. We have one. I understand that. I do everything I can to show the opposite. Exhibit the expertise. I name my team the New Jersey Real Estate Experts. Not because it sounded fancy, it's because I want to impress upon you. I am the expert here, not you.
Absolutely. No, that's awesome. That's great branding. Yeah. And it's interesting that you had a bad first take, but you're not the first person that's told me that. Just a little they presented it the wrong way, or for somebody that is maybe right versus left brained, it wasn't introduced to them in a numbers model that they wanted to see, or it wasn't introduced to them in the work-life balance that they want to see. So just kind of different stuff like that. And Curtis, to somebody watching right now who's thinking, man, I see the greener grass at EXP. I want to make the move, but I'm scared. I don't know how to break up with my broker. I don't know this. How would you, encourage them to take the risk and tell them it's worth it? There's so much money they're leaving on the table.
Do the numbers, especially if you're under a very large brokerage with dramatic splits. Do the numbers. Identify what you're doing. I mean, and this goes back to time blocking, managing your day, and knowing what your business is doing. Know what your numbers are. That's it. If you know what your numbers are, it's easy to apple it. And if there is a large enough gap, I mean, it's nice to like your broker. Nice. That's great. I know some people that would step in front of moving traffic for their broker.
Right.
To each their own. But at the end of the day, the broker is a salesperson too, and they're selling something. They're selling that you stay with their brand, you stay with their office, you stay paying them. So I think just, we got a limited time on this planet. Why work longer than we have to? My entire practice is to get myself to retirement, or at least get my business to the point where I could take back the quality of life that I want and, just kind of relax. You only get so much time to do this. That's all. That's it. Very quick.
And speaking of jumping in front of buses for your brokers, why don't you just ask them for your cat back? An opportunity to earn the cat back, and let me know how that conversation goes.
Go negotiate it. And I already know the objections. Well, the corporate model and the office, the corporate says yeah, I know exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely.
The comment I made about not being presented EXP properly the first time was actually better than the way that KW kind of presented when we were looking to do our discovery for buying a brokerage. Just the immense amount of money that we had to put forward to be able to purchase your own broker or your own brokerage. We're out of business before we even start, and it's a possibility. It's an impossibility.
Right. So just look at the numbers, reach out, ask the source, interview an EXP agent. I highly recommend talking to an icon agent, the people that have gotten to really know the company. They're the heartbeat of the company. They're the ones that contribute to the 20 hours of teaching a week. They're the ones that are the top 2% of the company. They have to not only hit production, but they have to be, a cultural staple with EXP. So this is a great place to start in your research for EXP and that move. So reach out to Curtis if you guys have questions, if you feel like you're on the same mindset. And even if you're not with EXP yet, even if you are with EXP, even if you're not even licensed in real estate yet, ask your questions. Everybody here is excited to field them for you. Yeah. And Curtis, I know you're going to be at EXP Con.
I am.
And, is there anything that you want to leave the listeners with today as we wrap it up?
Look for me in the lobby. That's where I do my best work.
At EXP Con? Or just anywhere?
Look for me in the lobby at EXP Con. Yep, I'll be out there shaking hands, like I said, patting backs, talking to the doorknob.
Curtis, I'm going to make it a mission to hunt you down and catch up and see what all has changed from August to October. I'm looking forward to that. And just in case anybody wanted to know, this is Curtis's first podcast. Couldn't even tell. He killed it. That was a great conversation. I really enjoyed having you, Curtis. And I look forward to catching you on some panels, and at least catching up with you in Vegas. So thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Bye.
This Icon podcast is hosted and sponsored by Sphere Rocket Virtual Assistants, a leading provider for your virtual assistants and outsourcing needs. Owned by one of the top-ranking EXP agents, Justin Nelson. Sphere Rocket VA provides a one-stop virtual staffing solution for business owners, and we specialize in helping business owners grow their business by leveraging through virtual assistants. Trusted by the top names in the real estate industry like Kyle Whistle, Andrew Franklin, John Kitchens, and many more. Get ready to up your success, and we'll help you achieve your business goals. Book your free consultation at sphererocketva.com and find out how we can make your life easier.